Donald Trump has fired the top cybersecurity official over the fact that this official had the audacity to say that we had an election that was totally safe, that didn't have any problems, no widespread fraud. But of course, that goes against Donald Trump's narrative that he lost as a result of widespread fraud. Fraud that he and his lawyers, Rudy Giuliani in particular, have failed to provide any evidence of. And so what did Trump do? Well, he fired Christopher Krebs, and he did so on Twitter. Here's what he wrote. The recent statement by Chris Krebs on the security of the 2020 election was highly inaccurate in that there were massive improprieties and fraud, including dead people voting, not true. Poll watchers not allowed into polling locations, not true. Glitches in the voting machines, which changed votes from Trump to Biden, also not true. Late voting, not true, and many more. Therefore, effective immediately, Chris Krebs has been terminated as director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which is a clunky name for a government agency, I must admit. But nonetheless, this is what Trump does. He retaliates against any government official who doesn't go along with his complete and utter lies. And if there were widespread voter fraud, he and his lawyers, through the dozens of lawsuits they filed in key battleground states, could have proven it at this point. They could have provided evidence, but they have failed to do so. And John, before I get to you, I do want to show this quick video detailing exactly why Donald Trump would want to fire someone like Christopher Krebs.
Christopher Krebs headed the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Just last week, the agency called the 2020 election the most secure in American history, contradicting the president's claims of voter fraud. Krebs told CBS News last night he was expecting to lose his job, adding he has no regrets.
So he was expecting to lose his job because he knew that saying the right things and being honest with the American people would put a target on his back. And as he expected, Donald Trump fired him the way that Donald Trump would fire someone, over Twitter, like a complete and utter child.
And the way he wrote it, therefore, effective immediately. Chris Krebs has been terminated. Like, again, it's like they're using the language to try to make it seem as if this is official, and I am a very strong man who's making strong decisions.
I'm kind of a strong man.
It's Twitter, you little twit. Like, it just makes you come across even more petulant and angry. And the fact that his statements about Chris Krebs doing a fact check on his election misinformation, the fact that those tweets themselves are marked by Twitter as containing election misinformation is just like, mwah, I just love it. But there's a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news. The good news, as I discussed in a live video earlier today, is that Chris Krebs, apparently as part of acknowledging that he was probably going to be fired, set up a new position inside of CISA beneath him and beneath his immediate successor, both of which are sort of political appointments that can easily be terminated. Another person that he chose that is not going to be as easy to fire. So this is not one of the cases where Donald Trump is necessarily going to immediately get the political hack and flunky that he wants in charge of that agency. So that's good information. The bad news, I guess, is that like with the changes to the Department of Defense over the past couple of weeks, seeing Donald Trump, this embattled wannabe strongman on the verge of, in theory, conceding or maybe not, clearing out all of the people who dare to show any disloyalty to him, doesn't mean that he's going to seize power or whatever, but these are the things you would do if that was what your plan was.
Yeah, how do people not see how undemocratic Donald Trump is? How do you, I get feeling frustration when your preferred candidate doesn't win. I totally get that. But I also understand being able to share frustrations over a political loss, while also understanding the importance of protecting our democratic process. And to see all of these right-wingers who claimed that athletes kneeling during the national anthem was so offensive to our troops, what about what you're doing right now? I mean, they argue that our troops fight for our freedoms. They fight to keep us free. But in this case, you have Donald Trump retaliating against people, government officials who are doing their jobs appropriately, doing the right thing, But they had the audacity to speak out or contradict Donald Trump's lies about election meddling or election fraud. And as a result, that's totally fine. Because hey, it's Donald Trump. As long as Donald Trump says it, it's totally fine to dismantle our democratic process. Great. But these people don't get to like say whatever they want to say about Colin Kaepernick or whoever, not supporting our troops or not respecting our troops, when everything they're doing right now is enabling the type of undemocratic behavior that our troops are supposed to be fighting against.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do want to also share Krebs, the last tweet in response to this put out by Krebs. He said, "Honored to serve, we did it right. Defend today, secure tomorrow, hashtag protect 2020. So I know nothing about his politics, it doesn't matter. He stood up for himself, and that's very rare to find in government these days.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.